Okay, welcome to the September edition of the Camera Club of Richmond. I'm Martin Evans, and we're going to go through a few little slides of introductory material that that may be helpful to you. Okay, which button is it? This one. Again, thank you to Anne for her wonderful presentation last month. That is available on the YouTube channel. And we welcome Jane Webb, who has volunteered to be our vice president. Where is Jane? We're going to have a vote, and we might just do that right now. A vote. We have the bylaws say that we have to vote you in, and so I would ask is we did that before you got here. So can I have a show of hands of all who would like to see? Thank you very much. It's unanimous. Jane, congratulations. New members are listed. And we have a couple of guests. We have my cheat sheet notes, which are somewhere. Thurman Alford is here. Welcome. And Linda Posno, which is the better half of Jerry, I believe. Is welcome. This is just some information. If other people would like to volunteer, we'd love to have you in either exhibits, communication, wherever you can help us would be appreciated. If you have skills that you think we can utilize, it would be wonderful to have you. So the board will help you, and any other people who would like to participate, step up. Upcoming meetings, Tom Hennessy next go round with floral photography. Venkat and I are on November 12th in travel photography that will, I think, be fun for a lot of folks. Karen, you want to? Okay. Terry Troxell's category critiques as you prepare. It's in the Southern Exposure magazine.
Right, and if you go back through the year, there was one category critiqued each month, I think starting in February. So if you have a landscape and you want to see what won last year in landscapes, go back and you can see those. Also, Susan was not able to be here tonight, the membership director. And if you have not picked up your new fancy dancy lanyard name tag, they're over here on the table. So come on over and find your name tag after the meeting and keep it with you. Leave it in your car so you can bring it back the next time. All right. Thank you.
And Anne, I wanted. And Anne just came in, and we extended our blessings to you for your wonderful presentation last month. A lot of accolades, a lot of inspiration that came from it. So thank you very much. Leo, any comment other than this?
Leo needs a mic.
I uploaded John's spotlight, but not curious because she has not validated the video yet.
So it's coming.
It's coming.
Okay.
The rest is usual.
And Dan, I keep telling this, has retired as exhibit director, and if anybody wants to help us, the more you can help, the better. VEI is currently hanging in their foyers, and VCU Health will be again in November. So we'll look for communications from that coming from Patricia. Pat, any comment?
If you, oh, okay. The end of year procedures are on the website. You can send me an email, which is up there, digital.ccrva@gmail.com if you need anything. You can submit up to 10 images for end of year. You can also substitute 5 of those images, which were not previously evaluated, and they're known as wild cards. The deadline is October the 12th. You can start sending them as of the end of this meeting. So get them on in.
And for those of you who've not done this before, just be sure to look at some of the communications and the information that's talked about here, because the naming is challenging.
It's definitely different. There are a couple of extra notes in there, so please be careful and really pay attention to there are going to be so many submissions. I think last year there were about 450, something like that. Normally, like this month, we had 85. So with 85, I'm able to help people and do renames if necessary. But when it comes to 450 photos, I'm really not going to be able to put that much time into it. So please be careful and follow the guidelines for the naming convention.
And remember, you can submit prints as well, as shown in this slide. So again, the big thing here to me is the October 12th date. That seems conceptually a little bit early, but it's not. So just be aware that it's going to sneak up on you in a month.
The digital can be converted.
Yes,
Yeah, I just want people to be aware.
yes.
Ask your question again for the Zoom
No.
folks.
The digital can be converted to print. Okay. David Everett is here tonight. I put some of his bio up here. He's got his criminal justice degree, which he doesn't use much anymore, I guess, but he could. Widely known for his fine art, nature, landscapes, etc. He has a permanent wall up at Crossroads, and we did our first print palooza this evening. It was wonderful with a lot of commentary. Maybe we can do that on again, because it was a rapid sequence about how to make an individual print better. So David, I'm going to give you the floor and let you run with it.
I was just asking the photographer if this is Captiva. It reminds me of Captiva. And down
We do
down,
not see
off the
anything.
coast of
Oh, I'm
Florida.
sorry. The title is Earth-Sky Connection.
We do not
I
see
love
anything
this
on the screen at all.
movement in this a lot.
It's coming.
It's a little tight though to me. I'd like to have seen just a hint of space around the tree. But then again, this is one of those things about composition. We all have our own way of seeing things and doing things. And I tend to like that up there better, with the branches having just a hint of space on each end. Here it's cropped. This one touching, which I kind of like that, but that one over there being cropped, it takes my eye out of the image. With that, I tend to go around more in a circle, seeing the whole image. So I would prefer it that way personally.
Mark Best.
That was by Mark Best.
All right, this image,
Go to
we
the
don't
next
have
one and
that on
announce
the
it.
screen.
Okay.
I love the motion and movement in this, and the design of it is gorgeous. I love the lines coming up and down. My eye just keeps wanting to keep going all the way up and down this and back and forth. I can't get out of the image
Just
because
stop.
of the movement. It
Okay,
doesn't end. It
this one's on
tends to
Zoom.
keep me in it and moving around.
Okay, this one is titled Sycamore Ripples.
Sycamore,
Sycamore Ripples.
whoever did this did a really nice job. Beautifully done.
Philip Snyder.
It was done by Philip Snyder.
Philip Snyder did a really good job.
Next one.
But both of those, by the way, were for the assigned subject, which is trees.
Okay.
This one is not a signed subject, and it's called Big Sky Over Big Meadows.
Beautiful. The starlight in this is quite nicely done. Compositionally, it's hard to say that it's good or bad or whatever. It's a beautiful sky shot, but there's no point of interest that keeps me in one spot on it. And I'd like to have at least one spot that draws my attention and keeps me there. I kind of want to go here, but the most interesting part in a way is up here with all that, all the stars. I've got just enough down here to start me in here.
This
But-
got crossed. There's more at the bottom.
Yeah, that's far better up there. It reads much better up there than it does on the print.
That is also by Philip Snyder. We're now into the digital set, so I don't know where you want to review from. But this particular photo here, we're going to do the assigned subject first, and then we're going to do the general. This right here is one that I overlooked back from July. The assigned subject at that time was panoramic.
Okay, somebody gave me a mic a few minutes ago. Oh, it's there.
So this one is called A Foggy Sunrise.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Because unfortunately, I'm getting hoarse. I have a tendency to do that when I talk too much, and I have a tendency to talk too much. So,
Dual assigned.
beautiful, beautiful sky. The weight is real close to half and half between trees and sky. I'd like to see a little bit less of the trees because the bottom part of it doesn't really read as well as I'd like to, and maybe crop it off. Keep that highlight right there in and take a little bit of this, which doesn't read an awful lot, and let the eye go up to that bird a little bit quicker and easier. Ah, you're a good man, Charlie Brown.
Reminder to
So
talk about where in the image for the Zoom folks.
Yeah, I have my glasses. Thank you. That's my glasses right now. No,
So-
there you go. I won't need them for that.
So that was by Joe Ring. This one actually is a signed subject of trees, as it will be the rest of the next section. This is after the storm.
Okay. This one is quite a nice shot. Compositionally, I'm not sure. The white is awfully bright, and it bothers me in a way. If you take and cut off maybe half of that bottom, my eye tends to go up into the image a little bit better, I think. That large area of white down there competes to me with the sky. And the more interesting part is the trees and the sky to me. And I'm not sure the white really adds anything to it other than to make you think that you're at the beach. And I'm not sure if that's the beach or snow. Yeah, it's kind of snow looking, but it could be either one. This is a hard one.
It is possible that will
That's probably what it is, because I'm seeing some texture down at the bottom.
try to adjust.
The title also is After the Storm.
Okay.
The bottom isn't really that bright.
Yeah, it's the projected. Because I love the image overall, and I'm seeing the footprints down in there. I'm seeing some detail down in there, and it's probably the projected brightness that.
I try to balance the
Okay.
twice, not
All right.
every picture.
Let's say one thing right now. If I'm going to critique, please don't start telling me what you intended or whatever, et cetera, like that. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm gonna, anyway, go ahead.
So that was by Patricia Munford.
Thank
This
you.
one is baobab tree.
Love it. Compositionally, it's well designed. It's put the tree off to the left somewhat and given a little space on the right for the mountain to come down and be seen and be a part of it. I like the rendering too, the brightness of it. Slight texture in the whites really helps. And then the whited out sky, like what they did with it. It's a nice black and white.
That was by Harold Lana. This is titled Bare Bookends.
Okay, that's Forest Hill Park, I believe. 'Cause I've shot the same little hut. You're a little bit too centered right here. I'd have thrown it off to the right a little bit, cut this off here, maybe at this edge of it here, and keep just that part of the mess down there. So that helps anchor that corner and throw the house a little bit farther to the right.
That was by Bill Whitworth. This is titled Black Water Loop. This also is one that I overlooked last month.
I love this movement here, and it just takes me right in and all the way up there. Repetition of the sky and the water right there, just beautiful. And this is designed nicely. I don't know where that is, but it's a beautiful spot. Well shot too. Gorgeous light.
This is
Nicely
by,
rendered.
sorry, this is by Joe Ring. Colorado Trees.
All right. It's projecting bright. And the color to me looks off. This looks a green cyanish color up here. And I've seen that before in the mountains, but I'm not sure it works in this image. I'd like to have seen the brightness level brought down just a bit. These trees in here are just right on the edge of being too hot, maybe are too hot. And this is losing texture and detail because it's not brought down in value enough.
That was by Ed Hageman. This is Embracing the Elements.
Ooh, nice. I love this lead in right here. And the textures and all just lead me right up to these trees. I wound up in a nice circular movement here. And this little shot of purple down here helps anchor me and keep me from going out. I love the movement like this in this image. Beautifully done.
This is by Susan Van Manen. This is titled Fallen Branch.
Cut this off right across there. This is halfway mark right here. And I want that to be off center because it's the point of interest. And while this is really nice, I love these colors and all up here, but I think if you take and chop that off up top and hold your hand up there and hold it, your eye goes right down to where I think the photographer wants you to be, which is this beautiful branch right there and that nice curve. And then this repetition of color down here, repeating that color. This part down here works a lot to me. Maybe even just, you can come up here or something like that, but I don't think it adds anything to have that up there.
That was by Ling Whitworth. Fire in the Sky.
I think most people who have done trees have done this. This is nicely done. It's a little bit bright, but that might be just because it's projected. I love the movement here, just bringing your eye right up to the center. And this here is keeping you in and keeping you going around. Got a nice circular motion to it. It's nicely done. It appears a touch hot on this projection.
That was by Parks Roundtree.
Park's good,
This is Fog's Silent Guardian.
beautiful. Extremely moody image. I love it. I like the space over here, letting my eye go that way and then come back around. Beautiful shot, nicely composed.
It was Carrie Gottlieb.
Where was that shot?
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is Carol Ennis. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened.
I'm guessing that the person wanted this person here in this image be a major focal point, but they're a little bit too dark to be, to me, as strong as I would like to see them. I think I would have brightened that up just enough that they popped out a little bit more. Not a lot, but just a little bit more, because they're somewhat undefined with just this upper body here. And I don't see the bottom half of it. So, yeah, it's a good attempt at a really good shot. And this area over here is being bright. I like that because it tends to draw my eye over it and then the dark into it. It's almost there. And I think it's possible to get it out of this image with just a little bit of work in this area to bring it up just a touch so it's not just solid black.
This is titled Foggy Morning. This is Carol Ennis too, but I also just got a text from somebody that says it looks like everything on the Zoom, every photo has a filter on it.
What?
It looks like all the photos have filters. So they're not coming through very clear. Okay, I'm not sure how they got switched. Sorry, Carrie.
There are details.
I think you've got a really good image hiding in there. You just need to work on it some. It's got detail there, right? Yeah, it's not showing. And if I saw detail in here, that would be really nice. It's got a wonderful mood to it.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay. All right, this is titled Garden Glow.
Okay. I can't really critique something like this. It's just not my cup of tea. I love the colors and I love what you're trying to do. Whether it works or not, it's going to be up to you whether it works. I can't really, it's not something I would personally like. And that isn't fair to you for me to critique that. Because I think you're trying something and compositionally, it works for me. Color-wise, you're going to have to decide that on yourself.
That's Kemp Davis. This is titled Ginter Green.
Love this. And I like the fact that you put it over here on the left and didn't quite put that out of the frame. It lets me move this way and gives me a little space here. I almost think of a person standing there in my imagination. And I love the movement this way. It works nicely.
That was by Pat Hutchinson. Golden Hour Promise at Nature's Chapel.
Wonderful light in the sky. Excuse me a second. Is this the Blue Ridge? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a nice shot of the Blue Ridge. I love the light in it. And the mountains this way. I tend to flow and follow this way. And this little bright spot down here is nice. I take it those are people down there. At least I think that is. And that gives you a little anchor down there. I don't know what else to say about it.
That's by Saro. This is gold and green.
Tends to go this way and move this way on this image. It's a nice look down at a mountain scene, and this log here helps it. It's a bit bright to me on this screen. It's probably just the projection of it that makes it that bright, because this is washed out, and I'd like to see more detail in there. Other than that, I think it's a nice image.
By Carol Hageman.
Ooh,
This is Mist and Majesty.
love this. Beautiful movement. As you can probably tell by now, I love an image that gives a sense of movement for the eye to follow and move around an image. And these little waves right here help with that movement going in from the bottom and up and over and around. The tree's perfectly placed. It's nicely rendered. It's black and white with still gray tones to it. Beautifully done.
That's Kurt Engelman. This is titled, thank you, Moon Branches.
If I cut off this right-hand side here, this image improves to me. That area is just too bright for the rest of the image. I'd like to see a little bit better detail in the tree here, but that might not be possible with the projected view of it. Yeah, it's probably got it in the image, but it just doesn't project as well. This part of the image to me from this side here works really well. That bright area tends to draw my eye out and away.
That was by Michael Orr. Nature Wins.
I'd like to see this rendered in black and white. I like the muted colors of it, and I like what the photographer's done with it. This empty space here draws my eye in, and then I tend to go right and then up and around these wonderful trees. I'd like to cut just a bit of this foreground off and make it right across there. I think that brings you into the image and keeps you into it a little better.
That's by Pat Davis.
Ooh,
Oak Alley Canopy.
nice placement of the subject. I bet you put her right there on purpose too. Trees, nice line trees. Again, framing the image beautifully. Bright light, a little bit hot here, but that's probably the projection. I imagine it reads a lot less hot on a computer screen. I like what you've done with this. It's nicely done. And good placement of the subject at that point along the sidewalk.
That was by Martin Evans. Opening Soon.
This to me is a vertical from there, right there. This leaf over here doesn't do a lot for me. It tends to drag me off to the left rather than just bringing me in and leaving me there. I see my image, or your image, right in there. A beautiful lighting on it.
That's by Jay Denny. Sea Dreams.
This is one that can be read both ways. I like the space around it, but then I also want to crop it for some reason, because that to me is my subject. But then I like that open space around it too, giving a sense of bigness to the area. Some people are going to like it this way a lot. Some people like me are going to want to see it cropped a bit. So this can be read either way. Not sure I wouldn't just leave it like it is. Yeah, I probably would.
Those,
Go ahead.
that's by Jeff Stevens. Shade and shadow.
Okay, you're trying to draw the eye right in here, which is where you really want the viewer to see, I think. That's my take on this image, because all of this right here just forces you to go to the right and then come down here to this porch. That's where I want to focus. And that's well done in that respect. It's done nicely in that respect.
That was by Michael Bryant. Shady Sojourn.
I want to see more water, but yet I like the fact that you put the whole tree in there. Pretty much the whole tree. It does end about there, so you've just got it right on that edge nicely. Overall, a nice shot. I might have widened up just a little bit, gave a little bit more water on the left, help let the eye come in from a little wider spot and go into the tree. That was just a thought.
That was by Karen Davis. Silent Sentry.
Yeah. I'm sorry you didn't leave that in there, that you cut that out. I like your angle of approach here. And that right there just brings my eye right over to it and takes me away from this over here. And I know this, it's Libby Hill, right? Yeah. Sometimes get my hills over there mixed up, which one is which, but I want to, there's a soldier at the top of that, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Oh, it's gone now? So they took all the Confederates down, didn't they? Yeah. All right. Well, I thought that was the one that wasn't a Confederate. It was,
Sailors and so it was the sailors and soldiers.
okay.
Yeah. the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was by Gary Kornfeld. Snowy Solitude.
Nice, peaceful shot. I like the fact that you've got a good balance here. Left to right. And just a little bit down here. I might have left a hint more in the foreground, but not more than, a hint. That's it. Love the shot.
That's by Cindy Walker. Star of the show.
Oh, spectacular. Compositionally, extremely strong. This bright area over here pulls your eye in, and my eye just wants to stay there. But then I got this wonderful shape over here I've got to go check out. And the stars are just spectacular. Nice image. Wonderful image.
That was by Ann Fulcher.
I know.
Oh, you know. This is titled Stripped Bare.
Love this tree. I'd like to see this part down here in focus though. And I know that's a very difficult thing to do in a shot like this. This branch over here to the right bothers me a little bit. I think I might have moved around to this side a little bit and tried to make that a little less prominent on this side.
That was by Marianne Barnhart. Strong enough to bend.
I have issues. Well, not every image will work with this way, have this problem. But to me, if you got a large black area like this, there has to be something down here to give it some weight and give it some other than just black emptiness. If you cut this off like right across here, you're not losing anything. But by leaving this black area down here all the way, it's so strong, it draws me away from that pretty sky, that beautiful sky with those trees. I would have to crop it some and get rid of some of that empty space.
That was by Rebecca Perry. Surviving after the raging fire.
I love trees, but they're hard to make look great all the time. And you just got 3 wonderful trees here, and then you cropped it so tight. I'm not sure that you did it a favor by doing that. I would like to see a little more space over here, and those branches not quite going out of the edge of that picture, with you having this emptiness right here. I think I would have weighted it to this side with a little more space.
That was by Terry Troxel. Take a walk on the wild side.
Okay. This is the kind of image that is hard to evaluate in a way, and then not so hard to evaluate in another way. It's extremely busy. I'm not sure what you want me to see in this image. You've got a good start right down here with these lines here, and then this line over here. But then all of these branches in here have a tendency to muddle it and make it hard to really focus on one aspect or any one aspect of the image. The eye doesn't know exactly where you want it to go. There's no point of focus, if you know what I mean.
That was by Linda Schmiel. The bones.
So now this has a design to it that you have to follow these trees right on back and into the unknown out there. It's just wonderfully done. It appears that you might have cropped some off of these sides to eliminate things that didn't add to the image, which the narrowness of it, I think, helps this image some. Beautifully done. Nicely rendered black and white too. Got texture where it needs texture and detail in the whites, and just enough detail in the blacks, darker areas that it works really well. Nice balance to it.
That was by Heidi Nunnally. The cucumber tree.
Mm-hmm. The processing looks to be on the green side and the blue sky. You're a touch on the green side. I love the composition of this and that branch coming towards you and basically seating itself directly in front of you. You took a good point of view of the tree, and I'd like to see it a little less centered off to one side, off to this left side a little bit more. Maybe crop some of that off. You don't need all of that over there on the left, and balance it a little bit more to the left. And that line to the right down here, I think, would be stronger.
That was Jerry Posano. The Mighty Oak of Williamsburg.
Yeah. That other tree was from Williamsburg too, wasn't it? Is the shooter of that previous tree, is that person here? Obviously not. Okay.
It was
It was
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg. Thought I recognized it. Nicely done. I love where you caught this subject right here, the horse and buggy. Under the branch here, you framed it beautiful, and you used the trunk and this line right here to take you around nicely. Well done.
That was by Cat Mintz. Tree of Life.
I want to know what's over here. I love this movement coming up this way and moving my eye this way. You centered this. I don't know whether that's the strongest point that you could have done or might have walked around to the right-hand side. I want to know what's here. I'm curious about that part there. And I love the movement of this going this way so nicely in this tree.
That was by Ted Dracuta. This is also Tree of Life.
These lines just take you right on back. And you've got 3 trees here. 3 is a good magic number. It feels busy, but yet it's got to be busy with all of this. And there's no way you would want to take any of this away from it. I like the image, and I'm not sure it doesn't need more contrast. Pop it out a little bit more because all the tones seem to be very similar. And I might go up higher in contrast to separate those tones a little bit more.
That's by Tony Johnson. Tree Swans.
Repetition of shapes. Nicely done. Crop some of this out here. That line right there leading me in, I either want to crop it right there, like that, or crop it like this way. This right over here is kind of messy looking, so I don't think that's as important to me as this part right here would be.
That was by Fred Morton. 2 to Tango.
2 trees on a hill. Why do we center things so much? That tends to be our tendency most of the time, or a lot of the time anyway, is to center. And if you take this off over here on this side and throw it off to the right, I think it improves and strengthens this image, because that bright area tends to draw me away from the trees. And that's what subject is these 2 trees. And then this little one over here. Take some of this off.
That was
Love
by,
the lighting on that. It's a gorgeous shot.
that was by Venkat Santosh. Underwater Canopy.
Okay. All right, now I see that edge. I was beginning to think all of that was part of the image, but it's not. It's well balanced. It's got just about the right balance down here like this. It's got wonderful movement in this, and the colors are great. Beautiful reflection in that water. Nicely done.
That was by Paul Bickford. Walking Tall.
I like the fact that you've got this leading line here taking you from the bottom left all the way up on the right, and you put the tree over to the right near the thirds mark, which is good. The rule of thirds used in this is nicely done. It's a little bit busy, but bar shots tend to be. Not sure what else you could do with it.
That was by Jane Webb. Welcoming Embrace.
Mm. Okay, this have nice flow going from this point here. Just my eye does draw here and tend to go to the right up here to the top of the tree and then back down and around. That's not bad. This empty spot in here bothers me a little bit, but it is the shot, and this works here.
That was by Billy Sinclair. When your tree surgeon is a mason.
I would like to see this cropped a little bit. It doesn't need as much over here, and the brightness of it is a bit much. I think I would crop it right at this point here and let these three right here become the main focus of it. This over here tends to draw my eye a little bit too strongly. And it appears too bright too. I'd take down the values a little bit. That's hot down there.
That was by John Schickler. And this is the last assigned subject. Won't you join me?
James River. I love the light coming in here and just enough detail here to see that. And then this line down here. I'd love to see a bit more detail down here in the bottom. It's not an absolute it would be better if it was there. The fact that it's not there could be just that it's projected rather than seeing it on a monitor. Well, I can't see it as that well over there. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. I love this area down in here. Is this the James? Is that part of here? Okay. Pony pasture? Thought so. Thought I recognized it.
That was by Bruce Yoder. And that's it for the assigned subjects. So the rest of them are going to be in the general category. This is titled A Bloom.
This is a vertical shot. All of this here is extraneous stuff that doesn't add to the image. And I was taught, the guy who taught me said, if it doesn't add to the image, get the hell out of there, get it out of there. It doesn't belong there. So your image is right here. All of this over here is extraneous stuff that doesn't add to the image. Okay.
That was Gary Kornfeld.
Leo, can you go back to that one again?
Yes, sure.
I'm going to correct myself here. You see this line right here? I would crop that and leave that in, and that's my image right there. This line right over here doesn't really take away, or but here draws my eye away from the image. Am I doing that, or are you doing it?
No, that was me.
Okay, next image.
You
This
click
one,
it.
sorry.
That's okay. I'm the one that screwed things up.
This is titled Ageless Wonder.
Spectacular image. Spectacular image. I love this. This motion and this flow in this is just beautiful. She's gorgeous. And that bird coming out of her hand like that, that's just a wondrous shot. I'm envious of that.
That was by Pat Davis. Approaching the Goal.
Drop it a little bit tighter. Get rid of some of this down here and this over here. It's not adding to it. Get rid of it. Nice shot otherwise.
It was Bill Whitworth. Baby Watermelon.
Beautiful. I'd like to see that taken down in value a little bit because that heat of that bright white right there competes with her. She's beautiful. And so is that baby. And then that white, bright area just wants to draw my eye away, and I want to stay here. That's just gorgeous. Even if you just burn it down some or do something to it to bring it down some in value.
That's Pat Hutchinson. Canyon Sunlit.
I've seen this shot done before, one similar. It's too bright to me, and the values are just overdone. There's better detail in these real bright areas here, or should be, and this is brighter than the actual stone is. I would take it down in value some. It would help the image. Like the composition and design of it, though.
That was Carol Hageman. Crayola doors.
Go back to that for a moment. Carol, I think you might want to check your monitor and see if your monitor might need adjusting. So if you're not, I bet you're seeing that being darker on your screen than it's projecting here. Because that's a nice shot. Go ahead.
This is Crayola doors.
Love this. Got movement and design to it that's really nice. And then this little anchor down here in the bottom left. I like the fact that you use that as an anchor for that corner. This is the only part that is questionable to me. This red over here doesn't read for me. I'm not sure what it is other than just something red with a black line in it and a black top. I'm not sure it adds to it. You might look at cropping that thing just to the edge of this piece of bone there and getting rid of that.
Patricia Munford. This is Dancing with the Milky Way.
Love that shot. That's spectacular. Nicely done. The movement of the trees just take you right on up. They're both leaning in, looking up towards the Milky Way, I guess that is. Or, wow. Spectacular, don't it, though? Yeah, meteor going across there. Nicely done.
That was by Fred Morton. Deja Mu.
Now that reads kind of bright to me. Those cows should be a darker value. I love the shot. All of them looking at you. It's nicely composed. I love this in the looks just slightly bright.
Say that again, you cut out. For a brief second.
Okay.
Just
The background is perfect. I love that. But this area up here in the front with them, they're a little on the bright side to me. I'd like to see them be just a bit darker. I think it would read better.
That's Joe Ring. Early Walk on the Beach.
The water's cutting her head off. This is a timing issue here to me. I don't like having that line come across here and right at her throat line, basically. So it cuts her off. I love the position of her, but I might have waited until she was over here or either catch her over here. And if you caught her over here on this side, you'd have this bright light to bring you this way and make you come across and around this image better. Putting her dead in the center, I don't think was as strong an idea as you thought it might be.
Notes by Tony Johnson. Fawn on alert.
Nicely done, but you centered the fawn a little bit too much. Put her to the right-hand side, gives her room to move in the image, and just centering most subjects like this is not a good idea. It just makes the image more static and doesn't allow motion in the image or movement in the image when you're looking at it. You just go to that subject and you stay right there. You put them off to one side or the other, it tends to let the eye flow a little bit more around the image. Nice shot of the doe. I mean, the deer, the fawn.
That was by Michael Orr. Fog lifting.
So now on this just feels too bright to me. It projects too bright. On the screen of the computer, from where I'm sitting, it looks pretty good. So this is something I've seen a lot in projected images, is that if you've got the value just right and it's a fairly bright subject to begin with, quite often they will be overly bright when projected. And so it's hard to adjust for that. It's hard to know what to do with it. I love the balance of it, though. It's nicely done to the right, and that angle is great. I'm sure you set that rock up perfectly like that.
That was by Jane Webb. Fountain Fun.
I want to take and crop that left-hand side off and put this young man's hand a little bit closer to that edge, because this over here doesn't really add anything, and having them centered keeps me too static in that image, and it's got a lot of motion to it, and I want to use that. So I would crop it here, and that border becomes more important and gives them more circular movement like that with the eye.
That was by Susan Van Manen. Guardian of the Graveyard.
I like your composition here, but you've also centered this, and this one isn't as static as the last image is because of that. But I love your black and white rendering on this too. That's nicely done. I'm not a big fan of main subject being in the center, dead center. I like it off to one side or the other, but that's a personal preference for me. And this image almost works to me, just not quite there. Other people are going to love it because it's a gorgeous shot.
That was by Karen Davis. Hands off.
Beautiful shot. I don't know what else to say about it. It's got motion and everything you want to expect out of a soccer shot or sports shot of any kind. You've got contact with each other and people working hard at getting there, and the ball in the air. And then this guy, the goalie over here, very intent. It's a beautiful sports shot.
That was by Ling Whitworth. I see you.
Nice composition of this. Love the design of it. Movement along this line here, up here, over here, and down. And then that beautiful statue right there. Virginia Museum, right? Yeah, beautiful.
That was by Linda Schmiel. Immersive moments.
I love this. This kid right here in the foreground makes this shot. It's beautiful. And then you go back here. Then all that Monet movement in the background with the trees. Beautiful. Nicely done.
That was by Marianne Barnhart. Into the Valley.
This is one of those shots you see a million times. Everybody does this shot and does it pretty much just like this. There's hardly any other way you could do it. I don't know this spot, so I can't suggest. And if I could have gotten farther right over here to give it a different point of view than what you normally see. But I've seen this shot done like this dozens of times. And I love this line here, the road going down here and coming around. It's in a perfect location for the shot. So that works well.
That was by Mark Best. Introspection.
Love it. Can't go wrong with a couple of monkeys. Nicely done. Go ahead.
That was by Harold Lana. Inverted Serenity Sunset Yoga by the Sea.
Wish I could do. I wish I could do that. Yeah. I love the rendering on this. The shot is beautifully done. The light is gorgeous. And I love the brightness up here. I mean, the values are working to bring me down. This being a little bit brighter than that, my eye comes down to it. And then you've got to go to this subject right here. That's just wonderful. Peak of the action type moment. It's gorgeous. And of course, the waves, yeah, caught that at the perfect moment. Nicely done.
That was by Cero. This is Islands in the Clouds.
I love this. Beautifully done. Nicely composed. Nicely rendered in black and white. Well done.
That was by Joe Ring. It's Raining Diamonds.
Here we go in the center again. Take this out right here from this point here. Take those out and throw the bird over to the left like that. This becomes your line. It brings the eye from the up right down to here and over and back around again.
That was by Cindy Walker. Lindy Point Sunset.
Nicely done and nicely rendered. Love the perfect light right there. Caught the sun at just the peak moment. Beautiful shot. Is that Shenandoah? West Virginia, okay.
It's in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
That was by Kurt Engelman.
Now this is another, this is one thing about having an image on a monitor at your home versus projected. This reads way too bright, but I'm betting that if you've looked at that on the computer, it's not nearly as bright as this. I like the fact that you've got it towards the left-hand side, and this part here is where I really want to see anyway. When you've got large white areas on either side of the image, they tend to detract from the main subject to me, especially when they're super hot like this. I would take and tone them down or even crop some of it out. If you could, it's not easy. I would have shot it a little differently than this.
This was titled My Neighbor's Iris by Kat Mintz. Open mic
Oh.
night.
Look at that movement in this curve right here, then that right there. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Well rendered too. Love what the photographer's done with it. Beautifully done.
That was by John Schickler. This point taken.
Awesome. It's not a style that I would do, but whoever came up with this came up with a beautiful look. This yellow green behind this dragonfly, and then the red right there, contrasting in color with those golds and this beautiful dragonfly. I love this.
That was by Carol Annis. Pole position.
It's hard not to be busy with a shot like this. This is busy, and my eye tends to want to just go across this line, and it does take me around. It's not the best composition, but at the same time, it's probably, you can't get a lot better with this unless you come in here and do something like this, instead of trying to get so much of the width of it.
That was by Jay Denny. Quiet fog.
It's got such a tranquil look to it. Good placement of the boats. You put them in there just right. Nice line going across here. And this little dark area here, keeping you right at the edge. And the fact that you cropped it down to make it more of a panorama instead of a full-size shot with a lot of empty space up there, or repetitious space down here. That was a good decision. I like the way this works.
That was by Michael Bryant. This is Ram Tough.
I've got a feeling that this, like a couple of the other images, projects kind of bright rather than being bright. I love the design of the image overall. It's beautiful. Using those horns the way they did and giving just a hint of space around them. I'd take off just a hint of that over here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just leave it just like it is. I love the shot. Those eyes are great. And I like your rendering in the, not black and white, but a sepia look.
That was by Ted Dracuta. Roots of Reverence.
Catching that. That appears to be a face in there. And of course, then you've got this wonderful head here. This appears to be a hand up there, but it's not. I'm winding up searching for other things in this image that are hidden or trying to be hidden, but aren't. It's beautifully done. I like this a lot.
That was by Carrie Gottlieb. Rose in Water.
I like what you're trying to do with this, and the water and all works really well with this. It's not my kind of shot, but I like what you've done with it, and I think you've done it well.
Ed Hageman. See you later.
Now this projects very bright. I'm not sure that it is, and realistically, but this appears to be burned out here and here. I love the closeness of this and cropping of it. That eye just makes this image. And the fact that you're not quite on center, that's good. I might even have it just a hint more to the left so that I pick it up quicker. But I really like this shot overall.
That was by Jeff Stevens. Serpentine.
I would bring that right down to the top of this and tighten it up a little bit, because the movement in this is really nice. And you're giving it room up here for the eye to keep going up when I really want to stay down here and do this, move through this. It's wonderful.
That was by Terry Troxel. So close.
Caught at peak moment. Now, I can't tell if that's an insect right there or not, but I think that's what it's reaching for, is that up there in the, there that appears to be an insect, and then the water dripping off of it. Caught at peak moment. Love it.
That was by Paul Bickford. Splash of green.
Great angle on this. Love the space over here, giving it some, room. It's nicely done. Nicely rendered too. Well done.
It was by Ann Fulcher. Starry Night Thunderstorm.
Hmm. You got the timing. Love it. This works beautifully. It's a gorgeous shot.
It was
I'm envious.
Kemp Davis. Three's a crowd.
Two looking one way, one the other. This reminds me of the Three Stooges. Kind of looks like them too, with the hairiness, don't they? I think I might crop it a little bit tighter, get rid of some of this down here, and maybe even a little bit of this up here. This leaf right here is nice to leave it in at that point and get rid of the top above it. Tighten it up. Brings you in closer to the main subject of the three birds. Say again. That doesn't bother me as much because it's in the background and the eye tends to go, accept that.
That was by Heidi Nunnally. Tiger, tiger, burning bright.
Nicely done. Background's nicely out of focus, and it complements the colors of the tiger nicely. Well done.
That's by Venkat Santosh. Time to glow.
Okay. You got this wonderful tree here, and you're probably close to the rule of thirds, but you're a little bit to the left of the rule of thirds. I think I would crop some of this off over here, maybe bring it right to the edge of this bush here and leave that last little branch there, and bring this tree farther to the right. I think that would make the image a little stronger.
That was by Bruce Yoder. Touchdown in the end zone.
Not much you can say about it. That's captured motion and a sporting event. Pretty well done. I wish there were not as much empty space here, but it's the shot. So that's hard to do, hard to get that moment that they got.
That was by Rebecca Perry. And this is the last one. Zurich Tranquility.
Love this, and I love the rendering of it. Beautifully done. I like the fact that this window here is cropped. It tends to drag me in here, and then I go down to here. And then I have to go and follow this line and then back up and around. This has got a lot of motion in it or direction in it that keeps me moving around this image a lot. Love it.
That was by Martin Evans. That's it.